All right, everybody, welcome to the show, part two, episode two. It's your boy Lex. Again, follow me at Diamonds LLC on IG and at Diamonds on Twitter. This is my boy Emery, and we back for the show, part two. And so, Emma, I was thinking, I know you didn't like the episode of Say No to Fakes for the name, so I was thinking of two names. I want to see what you thought of
Mm.
sports, and more sports, or the sports fiasco featuring M and Lex.
Um, you said sports fiasco?
Yeah,
I mean,
not bad.
the fiasco is better than the sports and more sports. That's kind of
I was
corny.
I was thinking of the something to play on the sports machine, but that was a classic. So get that name out to get people back to remembering stuff.
True.
So I wanted to run back some of these games for this week. This was a great week of football, man. This was such a good week of football, man. I was really it was so many tight games, so many tight games, so much great football. So many like out of the world endings that just killed this week. So nothing. I think the biggest game this week was definitely Cowboys in Atlanta. Nothing
Yeah.
top, nothing top that.
I was actually
Atlanta.
really mad about that game too. I was mad because why was I mad? I would think I was just mad because you know what? Go ahead, man. It's just all of it made me mad because just I don't like the Cowboys for no real reason.
I don't like
Um,
them either. I can't
yeah, but
stand
no,
them.
but they're in your division. I don't like the Cowboys because maybe racially it's like every 38 every like mid 30-year-old person I know is either a Cowboy fan or a 49ers fan. And since I don't know why our area is heavy on the Cowboys, it's just like that's one of the most annoying fan bases to me. Like we them boys, and the gear and stuff like that. So I just low key
The
can't
fan base, yeah, the fan base
because
is
the
the
fan
worst.
base is
But
annoying.
but the reason why they have such a fan base is because the Cowboys were like the team on TV in the '70s. So all you had to watch was the Cowboys on TV general,
I
and
never knew.
their kids.
I never thought about that. That's a
Yeah,
good point.
and then those kids, those people who grew up in then, they had kids in the '80s, so
Hmm.
they grew up in the '90s watching the Cowboys of the '90s.
Hate that
Now
team.
they're growing up now and they're like still locked in the Emmett Smith days versus you have the people before that who old Roger Staubach days. And the same thing happened with the Steelers. Like if you notice, all real Steelers fans from
My
our
dad's a
area
Steelers fan. My
are
dad's
from
a
the
Steelers fan.
'70s, are
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
'70s. So they're the equivalent of like '90s Bulls fans. Yeah, it's like, yeah, they watched the Bulls in the '90s who still can't get over it, and they still can't get over it, even though those days are long gone.
yeah. Hmm.
But the Cowboys, man, oh my God, they had no business winning that game. None. To me, this was This was worse than what Atlanta did in the Super Bowl, as far as blowing the game. Like this was like way worse. They
Yeah,
had
I can
no,
agree with that.
and clearly, I'm not even worried about the passes that they caught. That Cowboys did and all the running. What killed me, what blew them up to me was the uh, was the um, was the onside kick. That was it. How nobody of them knew, wait a minute, I could run and grab the ball while it's coming off. I don't understand how none of them, nobody on their special teams thought I could grab the football. They all thought, oh, we have to wait for it. They all thought we had to wait for it. That made no sense. That made absolutely no sense. I had a big question I was asking online, like who blew it more, which we'll talk about later, Mason Plumlee or the Atlanta, or Atlanta special teams.
True. I mean, I think somebody made a real comment. No, um, Stephen A. Smith said that. What he said? He said that the Atlanta Falcons are the dumbest franchise I think he's ever seen in his entire
Yeah,
life, which I think was just excessive. It's bad. I mean, it's bad. But I mean, for a team to implode mid-season, I mean, the first game,
second
it's like
game.
whatever. Second game, like whatever. That's not that big a deal. First game, for Super Bowl is horrible. But I mean, they blew a lead. All right, so all right, I'm looking at it now, right? So if you look at the setup of the season, how it was like the breakdown of the score, it wasn't as crazy as they're making it out to be. Like it was the Falcons had 20 points, then 9 points, and 10 points, whatever. Then the Cowboys did 10 points, 14 points, 16 points. So it wasn't like they blew a lead. They
No,
scored,
no,
but
they
then
were stomping the Cowboys out.
Yeah, but then the Cowboys, who is not a bad offensive team, let's not forget, came back. I don't think it's like, oh my god. Again, I get it, sensationalize everything, but like it can legit happen.
They had no business allowing that punt. I mean that onside kick to roll right in front of them and wait. I was like, yo, you. I was like, wait a minute. Why they not picking up the football?
See, I don't even care about. It's funny. I'm not even worried about a score. What I think what scares me, like, what if the Cowboys get good about this? Get good after this. Like if the Cowboys get good, that's scary. But the thing that bothers me is like Cowboy fans need just an inch,
to hope.
yeah, to feel themselves. So it's like now it's like, oh, you them boys, and I'm like,
They can't stop. What was?
yeah,
Did you
that's
see?
the worst thing.
What's my man online who's Scooter? I can't remember his last name. That Scooter guy who's always making like NFL season or NBA season videos of like fans overreacting, and he did one for the Cowboys game. I'll send it to you. Absolutely hilarious,
You know, it,
hilarious take.
like I know you have a
Mm,
setup of all the stuff you want to talk about. A game I was actually this
go
one
ahead.
game that was a really 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 hype for, and I was actually really excited to see. Um, like I was actually really more excited for the Bengals and the Browns. Like I came on Thursday night, I was like, let me watch some of this. That was a high scoring game, and I was actually pretty hyped about that because I'm like that kid Joe Burrow was actually good. You know what I mean? And then the Browns look like how the Browns should look with who they have.
And the thing that's bad about that game is that you get games like this from the Browns versus Bengals. When them two teams play against each other, sometimes when you have those two bad teams who play against each other, and all of a sudden it's a great game.
Mm,
That's what happens when the Browns play the Bengals. What I did like is that you could see that the team has pretty much trusted Joe Burrow with the playbook to tell him. They just said no running game. It's all on you. Throw, 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 throw. Threw the ball 60 times.
yeah,
Montana has never done that.
that was a little
Brady has never
much.
done that. Pick your quarterbacks.
But that's but I understand that because they got good running game. Like they have Joe Mixon, they have Janavier Bernard, who again, when I go back to fantasy players that I appreciate,
Yeah.
love him. I really didn't understand why they didn't, do better by way of like running. It didn't make much sense to me. But he can move. He
He
got
can
that,
move.
what they say, he got that deceptive athleticism. Like,
That's not deceptive. If you watched him in college, you knew he could run.
yeah, but running in college against college kids isn't really as impressive as moving in the NFL because everyone's fast. So he was like,
True.
he legit can move, and I was actually impressed.
But I'll tell you this: there's not really a quarterback who was not a runner in college. That could not run in the NFL. It's not to me. It's not. The thing is that I think they just want him to not be that type of quarterback when he can. He has the skill to do it. Once and now with Joe Burrow, we can see that the the Bengals will have a passing threat. The Bengals' big problem is defense. They haven't had a defense in. I couldn't tell you. I think probably Marvin Lewis's second to last season when they made the playoffs when
Mm.
they went like 11-5 or something like that.
Dang, Marvin Lewis. It's sad. I'm like, no, okay. I'm thinking of Cedric Benson. I was about to be like, yo, is he alive? No, that's so messed up. Marvin, I'm like the coach. I'm sorry. That's like, why is that name sound familiar? Okay, my bad.
No, it's cool, man. But yeah, that was a great game. I was really impressed. Now obviously Brown fans are amped. They thought their team was going to do something. I say it's just keep calm. It was the Bengals. This is what happens when they're going to come back to earth when they play Baltimore, when they play Pittsburgh. They're going to come back to earth. And Cincinnati, you at least see you're going to have hope. And honestly, after seeing they did better as a team with Redhead Andy Dalton last couple of years as far as a quarterback in seasons and score and records. But I think now they can say passing is not going to be a problem with us. We could actually believe in our passing game. Defense is again where their problem lies.
You
Everything
talking about
on
for
that.
the for the Bengals or
Yeah,
him?
for the Bengals. I still don't trust Cleveland. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't. They have such a good squad, but I can't. Once I don't believe in Baker Mayfield. I don't. I don't. It was great to see Odell Beckham catch that football. It was great to see Chubb and I can't remember the other running back's name. The former Kansas City Chief,
Kareem
um,
Hunt.
Kareem Hunt,
Don't sleep on Kansas City. I totally not Kansas City. I'm sorry. Don't sleep on
Cleveland.
Cleveland. I totally understand why you don't respect them, and I totally understand why you're like, I can't believe it. And I think I feel the same way,
Mhm.
but I'm trying to think of another team. You can't have that many first round picks. Like initially they're bad, like because they're a bunch of first round picks that came together. So they've been together for a few years, and then so they understand a culture of losing. And so ultimately, I think no,
They
seriously,
should
like
eventually get it right.
no, but like you get the right coach, you get the right offensive
Mhm.
coordinator, you get the right general manager, and I think they're making that switch because you look at what's the team? Okay, like, all right, the Pelicans were trash, right? And then they went a few years of mediocrity,
Mhm.
and like, but that team is full of like if I look at the team right now, right? The New Orleans Pelicans is full of first round picks, full of first round draft guy. Like I mean, you got
Yeah.
okay. No, hold on. If I go to the roster right now, I'm making a point, so just bear with me. Got Lonzo Ball number two, Derek Favors number three, Brandon
No,
Ingram
what's the
number
favors
two.
of number one?
Who's
Derek
number one?
Favors is number one. He
Derek
got picked by
Favors.
the Nets.
No, he was a number three.
Oh yeah,
Um,
because he got picked before DeMarcus Cousins. You're right. You're right.
So it's and then you got Zion Williamson as a one. So that team, that starting five is a bunch of like
And
lottery
they got
picks.
JJ Peretti coming off. Drew Holiday was also first
So
round pick.
yeah, so
So
and Jaleel Okafor on the bench was number
hmm
three. So
hmm
in my mind, you have that kind of talent. You suck for a couple years because
they're
then
young.
they just rich young kids, and then they realize like I want to start winning. If that core just like the Bengals stay together, scary squad,
Scary
scary
squad.
squad.
The aim is that I thought Cincinnati's last squad was going to be that. We've been saying that about the Bengals when they got Andy Dalton, when they got AJ Green, when they started building. We was like, this was going to be the team of the future because they had a young core that was building to do something. The problem was that Pittsburgh won't go away. And as we saw, like what we saw Sunday, Pittsburgh still won't go away.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh will not go away. And I'm like, they are old. They're not a young squad. They are old. They should be done. Ben Roethlisberger should have been done. His career reminds me of like Jim Kelly with the Bills. All these injuries, all these problems, he still does Ben Roethlisberger stuff. They should have been out the way for the Bengals to succeed. Pittsburgh has to get out the way, and we sure know that Ravens have rebuilt. Ravens, Cincinnati won't move up until they either their defense has to really they have to put what they did into the offense. They have to do into the defense and that to give a chance at because Pittsburgh won't hasn't done until we see what they'll look like after Ben Roethlisberger is done, and he's been in the league for so long now. Like he should have been retired. You think if Andrew Luck retired, why hasn't Ben Roethlisberger retired? Like
mhm.
Ben is still in this, and to see him not done, and
Well, no,
he
no one knows if Ben Roethlisberger has like any outside the league, you know, like stuff. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
if he has anything to do outside of football or he has any investments. Andrew Luck is just probably has money. Like, he just not money. Well, no, his dad was a
yeah for
quarterback, so
man
he can probably chill.
yeah.
Yeah, but he's been in the league for 16 years. I mean, I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't see Ben, especially Ben's game because he gets tackled so much because he's so I mean everybody thinks because he's a big guy he could take those hits. Them hits they hurt. So eventually it's supposed to toll on him. And I think Pittsburgh have been trying to draft other quarterbacks because I think they were trying to move him along for a couple of seasons now, but he just stays
They stay
there.
drafting quarterback. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers stay drafting quarterbacks.
Mhm.
I remember, like, I mean, the past five, Joshua Dobbs,
Who I
Mason,
thought who they were looking like they were going to be he was going to be the groomed next quarterback.
Mason Rudolph.
Hmm
They stay getting backups. So that's why when everybody was going crazy over Aaron Rodgers, Joshua Dobbs is still on the team, and then they hired Mason Rudolph. That's just disrespectful.
Oh, they got Dobbs back. I didn't even know that. I remember he was sent to. Jacksonville a couple
So
years ago, but
nah,
I guess
yeah, he was. Yeah, so he went to Jacksonville and came back.
no, it came.
So like it's ridiculous. Like anyway, so it's like when everybody's going crazy over Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I understand. I
Mm,
totally understand why it's like he needed help. I'm like, no, you really didn't. But whatever.
mm,
Um, what I think what killed me is that everybody's saying how big a deal it was that they hired another quarterback. I mean, yeah, they drafted another quarterback. I'm like, they stay doing that. I guess they're just mad it was in the first round.
mm-hmm.
But like, I mean, he could play for another, I don't know, 10 years if he
I don't
wants to.
see I don't see Ben being like a Drew Brees or Brady because gets sacked too much. He
Well,
gets
that's his
hit.
fault. That's his fault.
And they have a respected offensive line for him to get sacked, and because he's big, I think, and the division he plays in that has strong offensive linemen, I mean defensive linemen and linebackers who like to sack.
Hmm.
So I would have thought I would have thought like the last 2 years he would have been gone, but he's trying to still truck in. And to me, he already has a Hall of Fame resume. I really don't see what else he has to prove. He's going to go down. He has the numbers to be. He doesn't have as many rings as Terry Bradshaw, but he's hands down the best Pittsburgh quarterback of their franchise. You know, hands down, best thrower, most yards, touchdowns. He got at pretty much everything. So
Yeah,
there's nothing for him else to prove to me. I'm like, and unless he's just like, with Brady out the way, now I could really destroy it. But now you got to deal with those Kansas City kids. So, in that game, did you see that game?
come on, man. Don't ask me if I see
Woo!
games. I see. I see. I know about what happens. I feel like that. I know about
Yo,
what happens.
I'm gonna tell you this. I was watching the game at. Most of us are not. If y'all watching, we're from Jersey, so we have a sandwich place in in Orange that's well known. So I was watching the game at Sandwich Unlimited.
Are you serious?
Yo, I
You
had my
can't. You.
sandwich ready. I had my
That's
sandwich
crazy.
ready. I was there watching the whole like second half with people in there just bugging out. We was just watching that. I always kept saying, "Kid," I was like, Chargers are not up by enough. I said the Chargers are not up by enough. They're not up by enough. And I was like going into the fourth. I was like, they're not up by enough. They're not.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm gonna say Herbert was this like I gotta feel this is his Daniel Jones game where he had that first game where he just shocked the world, blew everybody out, but then he's gonna come back to earth because I'm not sure if they're going to start him this next game, but next week. But I'll tell you this: for him to compose himself and do what he did against the Kansas City's defense, which is actually pretty good, is respectable. Is very very good. But he had his rookie mistakes. I wouldn't put my trust in him yet, but all I know is that Kansas City, if you're not up by like 21 on them, it's going to be they can't stop. It's like I remember growing up playing Madden. You know that everybody has that game that play in Madden where they know this play is going to lead to an open receiver. Kansas City always does it. There's nothing you can do about it.
More, you know what? More important, not more importantly, forgive me for that. I always feel for Tyrod Taylor. It's just like it's always about to be his chance, and then it's just never happen. Something always happen. I remember that one year in Buffalo, he had like 3,000 yards
He
and
made the
like
Pro Bowl.
20 touchdowns. I'm like,
Mm.
and he had the second. And I'm looking at his stats right now. Then his second season, 3,000 again, 17 touchdowns. I'm like, he had a sizable amount of rushing yards. Like, yo, he was balling. Like, he was like, okay, this guy's about to be something. And then just happens constantly. And also too. I really want to throw this out there. I have no trust in Oregon quarterbacks. So, like any quarterback from Oregon, just I don't want to say they turn into a bust,
I
but
understand. I understand. It's like it's not just Oregon. I feel like that. I feel like that about the Pac-10. Like honestly, I mean, there have been quarterbacks to prove me wrong. Obviously, USC, but I can tell you as many bad USC quarterbacks as there have been good ones. I don't trust
name a
Stanford.
good UNC quarterback.
It's been a while.
Mm.
I'm gonna say pretty much Carson Palmer was the last good one.
Okay.
But
Washington? Like you can't. You know what?
wait,
He
what was
was
there was somebody who came out of Washington not too long ago? Was the
Bishop Sankey. Like he wasn't a quarterback, but anyway. All right. Stanford has two. I'll give Stanford. They got Andrew Luck. That's enough.
mhm.
Um. Oh my God, there is nobody. That is a
But they always get hyped, especially like
because they think they're
Aaron
smart.
Rodgers was the last to come out
That's a
of
very
Cal,
bro. That's a
but
smart. That's a really smart conference. Just because of Stanford. I mean,
USC, I mean UCLA.
yeah, that's a smart conference. Name the last good quarterback out of UCLA.
uh,
Josh DeRozan. Like like wow, that's just oof.
who came out
Ugh.
of UCLA? Wait, didn't Drew Luck? No, no, he went out of Stanford. Wait, I thought
Who?
Andrew Luck came out of UCLA.
Nah, he's
It was
Stanford.
Stanford. Stanford. I can't. The bootleg Ivy League of the West. I don't. They're too. They're. I want their school. I want their eye for engineers. You know,
Hmm.
programmers, all that stuff. Quarterbacks, I think overhyped. They haven't been too much, but I don't trust Pac-10 quarterbacks. I'm sorry. I don't trust them. Just like I don't trust quarterbacks coming out of Alabama. so
Yeah.
so there was that squad. Seattle versus New England. So by the time I got back home, I was watching that game from start to finish. That was
I'm
a
really mad at you
game.
went up to. I'm really mad you came down to Sandwiches Unlimited. Didn't tell me you went to Sandwiches Unlimited. I live right around the corner. I would have probably met you.
No, I
Like,
just went there. I just went there because I was in the area, and I just said, "Oh, let me stop." Since I'm in the area, I haven't been over here in forever. So I swung by there, grabbed some sandwiches, grabbed some stuff, and said, "All right, let me just stay here." And while I was watching the game, I was like, "Me, people was there, were just sitting, like we were just standing around watching the game and talking with the people, the workers and stuff, because it wasn't even that many people in there. So
sure,
it was
yeah,
just
screw COVID, whatever. We in. We watching.
nah, but nobody was all up on each other. Like everybody had their distance and all that. But it was just a good game. It was
Oh,
actually it was a good watch. And everybody was like, wow, this is a good game. But oh man, Seattle, man. Seattle and New England, man. This is another great game, man. Came down to the wire. So the big thing was a lot of people questioned the last call. Would you have gone for that?
it was
Quarterback
reversed.
sneak,
Now the um wait, quarterback sneak with
Cam.
the yeah. Of course, I'm a quarterback sneak with Cam. It's Cam. Like I'm not mad. Like yeah, Cam, you do it. You know
I would have ran it up the gut instead of trying to go off to the side.
with who?
Cam, that's his move, especially going over.
He ain't going over with a busted ankle or
Oh, that's
foot
true.
or
But
whatever
then
his
running to the
body
side,
was.
what I saw was people saying that old Cam would have just instead of trying to go through that block to the block of the left side, old Cam would have kept running all the way around and just ran off to the because if he had ran all the way out with full speed, he would have had the touchdown. He would have had the touchdown going for the pylon. But I think I had no problem with the last play. I personally didn't. I saw people's like, oh, they should have faked it. They should have had a run pass option, something else, for that, not just rely on Cam to blow. And I just said, it's like the reverse of finally you get Pete Carroll saying, it's the opposite of what happened to us. At least they ain't throw it. I tell you that. I'll tell you that. At least he ain't throwing. You can say at least Belichick knew to try to run it in on the goal line.
Yeah, yeah.
But
No, you're right.
his best offensive weapon,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
to be honest, what's crazy about that is those are well, I don't know. I still stand by my belief that Russell Westbrook, oh my God,
Wilson.
Russell Wilson is the best quarterback in the NFL. Like I still, I mean, 5 touchdowns, 1 interceptions, two
And that
sacks.
interception wasn't even his fault. It was a toss up.
You know, he only missed 7 attempts. Like he 21 out of 28.
Hmm.
Like he's hold on, wait. If I could, that's a fourth. That's 75%.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Easy.
Like he's my favorite quarterback. So man, I don't have him in fantasy football. Um, but he's just amazing, man. Like I love this guy.
And now people are realizing before the game, everybody kept talking about how he's never received not one NFL MVP vote. Not just now he doesn't have any NFL MVPs. He's never received a vote for uh, player of the year from the NFL. And to say his numbers have been overly done good for years, for years. I always felt that he. I think people gave too much credit to the defense for Seattle's success. And now, for the past 2 seasons, you can't. Well, I'm gonna say even 3 seasons, you can't say Seattle was not good because of what Russell Wilson's doing. He's really the truth. But what I was really happy was to seeing Cam air it out. To see him air it out the way he was airing it out, he was. So you can see New England has no problem with the passing no more. They're airing it out, and they were throwing bombs. And I've said it for years. Brady was throwing 6 yarders left and right. You know, he,
Mm-hmm.
outside of when he had Moss, the deep passes from New England was done. But to see Cam was out there throwing bombs. He was out there bombing away. So you can see that, yeah, New England is not going to have a problem in the NFC East. It's theirs for the taking. If as long as Cam stay healthy, they're going to put a lot of trust in them. And I think they did. I like what Cam was out there doing. I liked it. It was good to see him throwing a big game again because he's with what Ron Rivera was doing to him. After his first, I think his rookie year, I remember his rookie year, he was throwing for bombs all over the place, and then
Mm-hmm.
they just stopped and just told him run. Told him run. So he went from like 400, 400, 300, 300, and they just said, you know what, we'll kick to low 200 and run for another 80, 90. And he just had that. So for him to have more wide receiver weapons to use and not just rely on Greg Olson, and to see him air out was really good to see, man. But to see that come down to the end like that, man.
Just
I,
also heads up, you're about to. I'm gonna put myself on, take my video off because I gotta fix something in my background real quick. But
hold
you can
on,
see.
let's pause. Let's pause.
You ain't gonna pause it. You keep going. You just ain't gonna see me for a second. Keep going. We're good. I'm bringing my computer with me and everything. Just hold on.
Okay, so to
All
see
right.
what Cam did out there was just outstanding to see. I was really happy to see him play like that. But I mean, I know that they lost, they took the L, but that was a good game. That was a great game. To me, that was the best game because I like to see an end play like that instead of versus a game-winning field goal. In my opinion, I like to see plays come down to the end like that. So outside of that, the other great games I saw was the 49ers and the Jets. So
Yo,
there's a meme on the
fuck
end.
yeah. It's like, what did you lose?
Yeah, you saw that with the Thanos. What did
Yeah,
it cost you to win this game? Everything. I was like,
everything. Yo,
I was like,
everybody tore an ACL this weekend. Like, forget everything else you want to talk about. Everybody tore an ACL.
yeah,
Bosa's tore an ACL. Saquon tore an ACL. Um, Jimmy Garoppolo got a high
Buffalo.
ankle sprain. Everybody hurt.
If that doesn't say San Francisco is not going to make the playoffs this season, I'm sorry, 49ers fans. Y'all done. Your season's done. Give up. Just give
Not
it
even
up.
that. That judge just told me like, don't do this season. Like, I shouldn't have done this season. Everybody's gonna get hurt. Nobody's gonna be ready. Nobody's ready to play.
Nobody, as much as they want to front, if these, the what cost the 49ers that game. And what sucked is that the Jets still, they just played bad. All these injuries and they still looks trash. They was
Yeah,
still trash.
the Jet. Well, yeah, we kind of talk about that. Like the Jets are just a bad team.
They
Um,
have no threat, nothing. Who's their skill players? Who's their skill receivers? Who's their skill running backs? Who's their skill?
the Jets. Oh wait, hold on. All right, I know who. I know you can. I know their receivers. So Jamison, Crowder, Bernard Perryman, Chris Hogan, who had like a breakout game against the Patriots. You know, the people love to hire, well, like to sign inter a conference.
Yeah,
You got
especially the Jets.
yeah,
Especially the Jets.
anybody
Please,
from
they
the
even got Adam Gase.
yeah, anybody from the Patriots they'll pick up, or anybody from the Dolphins. But
Yeah, they
they're
don't get
running.
too much from Buffalo.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
well, yeah. I don't think people from New York want to stay in New York, even though Buffalo's up the street. I mean, well, it's farther up. But like the Le'Veon Bell, he looks like a scrub. But you got Frank Gore. Frank Gore's probably their most consistent player, which is a sad thing to think about, really. But I mean, I love me some Frank Gore. I love me.
Yeah, but Frank Gore is their go-to right now. He's their best player, and he could do but oh so much.
Yeah,
So
no, see that's the key. He can't do anything.
mm,
He's like he can't will a team.
Yeah.
He can keep a team going, but he can't will a team. Like he got 63 yards off of 21 rushes, bro.
I mean, that's 3 yards a carry,
But
which is
still 21
which is
rushes.
rushes. But the old Frank Gore 21 rushes. That's 120 yards. The old San Francisco days. But yeah,
How
yeah, I'm
old
not.
is Frank Gore?
I
He
think
is
he's 38.
37. He's 37 years old, man. Wow.
Mm, and that's beyond old for running backs.
I'm looking at his I'm just looking on like I stay on my phone looking at
Yeah.
stats on my phone. And like what I love to do is look at the overview and
Mm.
to see like and so I look at every year their rushing total. His just keeps going on. It's like keeps scrolling down.
Mhm.
Like yo, he has so many 1,000 yard
Yeah,
seasons,
oh yeah, it was ridiculous.
but then he
It,
has seasons where he got no touchdown, which is
mm,
kind of sad. But he's a monster, man. Like
mhm.
I love that guy.
He to me, he's like what Hank Aaron was for baseball as far as home runs. Consistent, just consistent, consistent. Nothing over the top, nothing beyond crazy, but he's just consistent. And it's just gonna when it comes down to the books, he's gonna go in the Hall of Fame. You're gonna look at him like,
Maybe
who's this
not,
guy?
maybe not. He's gonna
No,
be like
no, he got the numbers.
he's gonna
He
be
got the
third
numbers.
ballot. He's gonna be like third ballot.
Nah,
Like
nah, he might give him if he stays another 2 more years. He's gonna have. He has. He's surpassed the people who are who are way bigger names than him. So
here's the bigger question that doesn't matter, but something to think about. He played for 15 years. I was like, he must really love the game and have nothing else going on in his life. But which is just stop, right? How much you think his career earnings is? The fact that he's still playing. How much you think his career's earnings are? Like total career earnings? Jesus,
I'm gonna say as a running back, 15. I'm gonna average him about four mil a year.
at
So
15,
yeah,
at
at 15.
15. So you know what that
So we'll
that's
give him about 60 mil as a per.
63. Good job. Nice.
Yeah,
63.
yeah.
$63 million. I don't know why that bothers me so much. I just
But 15 years in the NFL, I
no,
think
I get that. It's just like I just think like, yo, you got dudes in NBA right now that play 5 years.
5 years, please, man.
2 years they make
2
60
years,
mil.
please. You have players who are straight. I mean, like backups who have like 2 year who are getting 2 year $50 million contract.
I'm about to look up Demar Carroll. Just changing the subject, but
No, no,
I remember he got like a 70-year contract. No, like a
no, no.
75
Look,
million.
look up. I'll give you some NBA names. Tyler Johnson,
Oh,
and
yo, hold on. Wait a second. As of right now, Demar 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 Carroll made $74 million. Wow.
so
Who?
I'm gonna tell Tyler Johnson, Matthew Dellavedova.
Oh yeah, I know about. Oh yeah, I know about Tyler
remember
Johnson.
remember those contracts?
Nah, good for him. He got
Yeah,
that. Like he came out
and
of
he's
nowhere, had
been
a decent.
and he had one good backup season, but he just came at the time when the contracts just shot up in the NBA. I can't get mad at because I tell you, if that was me, I would go for everything I could get to. I get
50,
everything.
$52 million for 4 years. Good for him. 6 years.
So
I
nothing wrong
mean,
with that. Nothing
I
wrong
like
with
his.
that.
He had a couple like 10 days.
Mhm.
Oh man, wait. One, yeah, man. Yo, I ain't mad at dude. If I can get that, if I could just to play three. To play. Oh my God, play what? 6 years? Yeah, give me $50 million. Good for him. It's your money. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. All right. What was the other game I wanted to talk about? Um, uh, sleeper game. Tannehill versus Minshew. That was actually a pretty good game.
Yo, don't disrespect Tannehill. I told people about Tannehill. I mean, I don't think he's like the best of the end all be all,
Yo,
but he's not. He's
you
not
thought this?
trash.
Yo, he put in work.
He's not trash, and I love me some. Yo,
You go
I
ahead
don't
and
know what
Minshew.
I love me some Gardner Minshew. I don't
Minshew.
know what it is. I love. I appreciate everything that he does, and as I look at fantasy football, you don't ever want to pick up unless it's Maurice Jones-Drew. You don't ever want to pick up a Jacksonville running back,
Man.
and it's such a gamble, such a
Mhm,
gamble.
mhm. And speaking of that, I forgot to talk about the New England, the fake Patriots, Tampa Bay. Speaking of former Jacksonville running backs, man,
Mm.
Maurice Claret. I mean, not Maurice Claret. Wow, that name came out of nowhere. Uh, uh,
Oh, I remember him.
yeah, I
Oh
remember him too.
man,
Man. Oh my God, I can't remember. What was the LSU running back who plays for Tampa Bay now that Jacksonville got rid of?
that Jacksonville got rid of.
Yeah, they just let him go.
Oh yeah. Leonard Fournette,
Leonard Fournette. Yeah, he put in numbers. He saved Brady. He's the running back Brady needed all them years.
bro. I should have picked him up. I was like sitting on my fantasy team so bad. I'm looking at it now as I'm talking to you. I'm looking at like I should have picked him up so bad, and I was like, nah, I don't need him. I picked up Sony Michelle instead. I'm so
He's not bad. He's not
he
bad.
ain't do nothing, bro. He ain't do nothing. Like I
No,
picked
but
up Adrian Peterson.
Cam.
I dropped Jordan Howard for Adrian Peterson. Neither of them did anything, so I don't feel bad. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, by the way, if anybody knows, right now the best team in New York is the Bills. I call them the Griselda of the NFL right
I had
now.
to look up. I had to really look up what the heck that was, and I was like, I had to go to LinkedIn. Griselda Records is an American hip hop collective and independent record label based in Buffalo, New York. Had no idea what the heck that
Oh
was.
man, for us gutter hip hop heads, West Side Gun, Conway the Machine, Benny the Butcher, all those street like punch you in the mouth hip hop, hip hop. They don't get no radio play. They're under Shady Records, so
Right? Yep.
but they're like an underground success story. And what Josh Allen was out there balling, throwing ugly pass. Him and Mitchell Trubisky are like tied for the best bad passers in the NFL.
Who?
No,
Who?
none of their
Who?
pass.
Who?
Mitchell Trubisky,
And who was the first person you said?
Allen from Buffalo.
Oh, Josh Allen. I love me some Josh Allen. You know what? Maybe
They
because
can't.
I'm actually
Their throws are ugly.
I made like a dark and stormy, so it's like I'm missing names. I'm saying I'm love me some too much. I'm realizing I'm saying that way too often.
They for Allen to throw for 4 touchdowns and 417 yards, and I'm looking at them passes. I was like, these look terrible. And seeing Mitchell Trubisky throwing some of the most non-spiralist, the most wobbliest footballs left and right. I was like, what is this? What is this? And they were just completions, completions, completions. Nothing the Giants could do. Nothing, nothing Miami could do. I was like, yo, I said, these are the quarterbacks Tim Tebow wish he could have became if he would at least had an ounce better of time to work on his passing. But I was like, yo, Josh Allen is throwing this ball left and right and just getting completions left and right and just bombing and just killing it out
But
there.
it's all for naught. It doesn't mean anything because it's still the Patriots division. Like they make it the
Well,
wild. They
right
make it
now,
the wild
Buffalo,
card.
right now, Buffalo has is the two is 2-0, and they have for now speaking rights. So
Yeah, but I don't know, bro. In a sad
I'll
note,
just say when they face New England, that'll be the talk. That'll be the discussion when they finally face New England. We'll see what the records will be when they finally meet each other.
yep, they
So
are.
yeah. So getting to the the game of the night in the NBA playoffs. So did Anthony Davis save LeBron James? Like everybody claims to be. They call him the new Ray Allen. They call him Jesus Shuttlesworth. Now, I was
I
like,
mean,
yeah.
I mean, when I saw the shot, um,
Mhm.
like I looked at the shot like in slow motion and everything, because as one gets older and they have no athleticism or whatever, it's like they got to learn to shoot better. And so I was looking at the shot. He came over like perfect. If you care about that, like the perfect little follow through. I was like, oh, that's a beautiful shot. And then he runs off and says Kobe.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean he did technically, save them. He did save the season, I think. But to your point when you said about he's the new Ray Allen, like it's so funny that he played with his arch enemy Ray Allen, and also now with Rondo. You know what I'm saying? You know how weird that is to me. But I digress. It was just a. I mean, LeBron still had 26, 4, and 26, 11, and 4.
But you know what's crazy? LeBron scored 20 of that in the first half. Like, he was the first 2 quarters. He was out of control. He was yamming on everybody. He was dunking, scoring, but no, like you thought it was going to be a big LeBron game. And in the second half, I will tell you this: the biggest. All right, getting back to what we talked about earlier, what Mason Plumlee did.
Hmm.
People put so much fault on Mason Plumlee. They don't even give a chance to realize that the Lakers setup was to confuse Denver. The play was actually a play to get LeBron the ball to go straight to the hoop for an easy pass, an easy
Hmm.
go, because Denver was only up one. But when Rondo saw Davis run out, he changed the option. He changed the option. Him and Davis, they go back. So Davis wanted the shot too. So he just looked for. He pretty much. You see LeBron kind of looking, trying to move a little closer, and then Plumlee not even paying, just so lost and confused because he didn't know what was happening. All he thought about was this is what the play looks like. This is what's going to happen, and he made himself get picked. Like he really made himself get picked. And you have Joker out there became the new Craig Elo, doing all this work and just to get looked at, it's going to be bad because in years, if Davis has the career that we expect him to have, we're going to look at this shot and everybody's going to forget that Joker just pretty much went on a one-man tear for 2 minutes of unstoppable. Like he could not be stopped. He was on a one-man tear. He scored 11 straight points. Nobody could stop him. Nothing could be done. Davis was looking like a fool trying to defend him. He was tapping over LeBron. He hitting threes. I will tell you this. This was Joker's biggest mistake. Joker's biggest mistake is when he had the Denver's last possession, when he took it in and did that hook shot over Davis, he should have held the ball longer.
You know,
He took that shot in with like 15 minutes with 15 seconds left on the clock. If he had held the ball a little longer before he went in for the post, he would have still got the bucket because nobody was stopping him and gave less time. So before this shot happens, a lot of people don't show, all the highlights, don't show the whole breakdown that Lakers had before that when LeBron had that pass out, they missed a shot. Murray had the block on I think that was Danny Green, and that whole breakdown that happened before that, before Davis' shot. If Joker, in all, obviously with hindsight is 2020. If Joker would have held the ball just for like 10 more seconds and then decided to go in on the post, Lakers would have lost. Lakers would have lost. Denver would have had the game, or they would have had to change the whole play.
you
Denver
know.
had
I'm sorry.
Denver had that game. Had that game, and they would have had the one-on-one talk, and then everybody would have been like, "Okay, are the Lakers done? Are they done? Did LeBron blow it by only scoring 6 in the second half?" Joker had this game in the bag. He had a one man tear, a serious one man tear that we still don't understand how he was just unstoppable. And then now he's going to be the Craig Elo. He's going to be the Raja Bell. Pick all the players who Kobe shot game winners over. You know,
You know.
all, all the Spurs, the entire Spurs trying to block. No, no, no. He's the new Chris Webber when he was trying to block Robert Horry. Like, and it's foul because he had no business being out there. He was trying to block the inbounds,
Yeah.
and then he had to run out for the inbounds to go out from that line, from the baseline, and run out to try to catch Davis. All that breakdown because Mason Plumlee Mason Plumlee was overthinking. I really think he was just overthinking. He was way overthinking. And I had to give it to I saw Nick Wright today. He was showing how this is not the first time Mason Plumlee did that. Also against the Lakers, he did it to
Hmm.
them. They caught him with that again before too. So Mason Plumlee, I know he's hearing it. He must have to shut down his phone. Don't talk to nobody. Mason Plumlee, the only way he has to answer for this is he has to have a killer game three. He has
True.
to drop like 20 points, get, block everything, and just go crazy. Oh man,
You know.
he.
All right.
Go ahead.
Real quick. Real quick. I'm sorry. Like, while you're doing all this, like, I'm listening and hearing everything you're saying, but then I'm like, I had a crazy epiphany, like, just that just hit me and just like stopped me dead in my tracks. Like, I found out I was adopted or some crap like that. I was like, I just came to the realization that, and again, maybe because I'm drinking it's a drink. um, I think LeBron is the greatest player of all time. Like, it's just like hit me like, oh my god. Like, I'm looking, it just hit me. It just smacked me in the face. Like, I don't know. I don't think I can argue against it. Just in terms of longevity, in terms of accolades.
Production.
His
productivity.
production, his scoring, his assisting. He was the 2020 assist leader at 10. Like you're a power forward, basically. Like
Oh,
25 points, 10. Yo, he's doing Chris Paul numbers when Chris Paul was like in 06, 25, 10 assists, 7 rebounds.
mhm.
Like, bro, like he might be the greatest player of all time. Like that's kind of
Like everybody hates to say that he's just a statter. He's just gonna he's gonna fill. He's just here for the stats. You can't win games without stats. You gotta score. You gotta put in numbers to win games. LeBron James is going to fill up the stat sheets, and that's why he's going to go down. When it's all said and done, he's going to have the numbers. Yeah, he's not going to have the championships like everybody says, but the NBA is better now. You got more teams that have more threats. You got teams that are going to go like Denver. You got teams like Denver who are building up to kill. And next season, you're going to have more teams that are going to be more deadlier. So, for what he's doing right now, yeah, he's going to be a problem. He's going to go down with so many numbers that it's going to take another player to have such great numbers to pass those numbers like that. And I don't know, people think it's going to be Luca to be eventually do that. Maybe
maybe.
Westbrook.
He ain't gonna
If
get
Westbrook
nobody's gonna get 4 championships. I mean, unless they, because there's too much parity.
No,
And
no, no. Look, I see Golden State. Well, Golden State right now is one more away from that.
well, if
So
that team stays together, I get you,
I
but
know they are going to stay together, and we'll see what this draft if they could be if they what next season could hold for them. But we'll say I can say like this: if they stay healthy, they're going to be back, and they are the standard of what the NBA wants to be. Except they have makers. They don't have shooters. They have makers. They have players who can make shots. You see Duncan Robinson who's out to try to get 10 threes a game. You have play versus you have players who like Curry and Clay. They get 10 threes a game. They're making six. They're making seven. They're making ridiculous numbers.
yeah,
So if the Clay and Steph are healthy, sky's the limit again. I don't. If Golden State was healthy with a squad that they had, I could have said I saw them, top seed in the West. They were going to destroy everybody again. So we'll see what next season has for them. Now they got Andrew Wiggins. We'll see how he works with them. And again if they draft the kid out of Memphis, who's also an outside shooter, who's 6'11", who has an Anthony Davis type game, they could be they'll be a threat for years to come because their
mhm,
players are young. They're not
yeah,
old. They're not old. So they still have a couple of years to do it. So it's going to take teams to load up before they get before they get rid of them.
true.
So but what I'll tell you this: if Denver does not, I expect Denver to win one of the next two games. Um, I expect them to pull. I think they're going to be so upset after this one. I think they're going to go all out and try to go out and destroy the Lakers in one of these games. Because if everybody just realized they can't stop Joker. Like they really had no answer for him. They gave him the ball and just said score. All right. They had nothing. They can. And the first half, they was like, oh yeah, they was throwing McGee in just a foul. Howard it foul, and then all of a sudden, yeah, he was just like, okay, I got this, no problem. Could Joker have a 40-point game against the Lakers? Yes, very easily, very easily. And they could do that and just really tear them apart. Or it'll be even worse if he has one of those 20, 15 assists,
Yeah,
10 rebounds, games, which would be even worse because then you'll have a bunch of other players come out. Or like I said on the last episode, that Denver's missing Millsap, Harris, um, all these other players who should be scoring more. They're going to have the game where they split apart. They split
yeah,
apart the offense. So
hmm
that's going to happen, and when that happens, Denver's going to get their win, and I expect that. I expect that next game. I expect that next game to happen, but
hmm
that's going to happen, and that's when the Lakers are going to, and then the Lakers going to go up 3-1, and then everybody's going to worry about, oh, is Denver going to be back? That's when we're going to start looking. That's when we're going to start paying attention. So last but not least, we have a couple more games before the Celtics and Miami. Um, Celtics pulled the ups, pulled the W, pulled the W. So you know what? A lot of people, most people have this series going 6-7. I don't. I personally still don't. But I don't see Boston pulling that again. 4 20-point scorers. No,
It's a wrap.
no,
No, it's
no. And people
I
saying,
look.
"Oh, because Hayward's back." Yeah, Hayward's back, but he's not. No, it's not going to happen again.
It's gonna be maybe six. A
Six.
game in six. I mean, but I don't know, but I highly doubt they're gonna come back. I mean, we talked about that last week. I don't remember what I said. Maybe I should go back and listen. I didn't realize how deep Miami was, and you made a great point how they're a bunch of shooters. Um, that team is really deep. They're weak when you get big, but like from one to
But
three, they're
Denver really
pretty
didn't go
strong.
big. Denver didn't really. I mean,
No, no,
Celtics
no. It
didn't go
doesn't
big.
matter. But I'm saying is like
Oh yeah.
still
So
go like
If Miami has to face Denver or LA, they're going to be in big trouble. They're going to be because Denver has size, LA has size,
Denver
but
is the more. Denver is the more.
physical
Denver
big.
has size, and they're more deep. Like they can go 10 in if
Mm-hmm,
they really want to, pretty easy. Like the Denver
mm-hmm,
team is pretty solid.
hmm And Lakers too. I think Lakers have they have the height. That's going to be a problem for any of the teams out of the East. But I don't like I said I don't. Uh, Kemba's do a really bad game. I don't see Marcus Smart can't. He's not going to be another 20 point scorer of this playoffs. He had another good game. I'm not seeing multiple good games from him.
From
He's
from
Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart.
no.
I don't trust that Denver. I don't trust. I keep calling them Denver. That Celtics backcourt. I don't. I don't believe in them like that. Their front court, yeah, they're athletic. They're a bunch of small forwards playing power forward. But
You don't trust
mm,
their backcourt, so you don't trust.
Kemba, Kemba, Kemba
Uh,
is Kemba is going to have the bad game. He's
but
do it.
you
He's
trust.
do
How do you trust? All right, okay, okay. Who do you trust on the Lakers? Who the heck do you trust on the Lakers? Except for
LeBron
LeBron.
and
Yeah,
AD.
LeBron. And, okay, and then you got who else? Kuzma.
Kuzma.
I'm
Kuzma's
looking at his pic. I'm
inconsistent.
looking at his
He's
pictures right now. I
inconsistent. He
just
is
can't.
inconsistent. But the thing is that because LeBron pulls so much, there's always somebody to pass to. He's always pulling a double. If he's not pulling a double, he's going to score. So, because they have to jump in his way, that's how he gets his assist. He has to pass out. And that's what gives your KCPs, your Danny Greens, you got the shooters. And, I don't think JR's coming in the series. I don't think Waiters are coming in the season, but they have the shooters. They have the shoot. They have the people who can make the shots for LeBron and keep his assist numbers. So I don't see like. Do you think? Oh, let me ask you. So do you think it's a cakewalk for the Lakers for the finals?
Not if they face Miami personally, but I could be wrong. I was just saying.
If they're up,
Um,
if they pull out Denver, everybody's saying I'm seeing more and more people complain that they think this is the Lakers. The NBA is doing this to get the Lakers the Kobe championship. All this. I think the Lakers are still going for the battle. I think
yo,
this not a
watch it.
cakewalk.
Yeah, no, they might win it for Kobe.
Yeah,
Listen,
I mean, it'll be
who won it? I remember that one year in Tokyo. There was a really in Japan. There was a really bad, the really bad something. Oh, I want to say
the
tsunami, but
Olympics.
like,
Oh yeah, it was a tsunami.
and then they won the World Cup. It was like
Mhm,
they had to win the World Cup.
mhm.
So if the Lakers don't win, I don't know. It's just like y'all just
It
horrible.
would be, and I know most people don't like baseball. This would be if they blow it. It would be like if they Paul, if they mess this up, it would be like when the Yankees lost after 9/11 to the Florida Marlins in the World Series
Yeah,
when they lost was it Florida Marlins or Arizona Cardinals or Arizona?
I sure was
I
talking
think it
about
was
black.
Arizona. But
Uh,
well, yeah,
Black people don't watch baseball.
that's that's
I mean, yo, don't you mix, so you kind of you a special breed within yourself, right? That whole Afro Latino. I
oh
don't know
God.
nothing about I don't baseball. Get out of here. No, but yeah, they kind of have to win,
Yeah,
but
yeah. It's them. It's theirs to lose. It's theirs to lose. It's theirs to lose. So
it should be. It
yeah.
should be.
Mhm,
I almost didn't count this season. I almost gave the season an asterisk, but the way that the NBA has put it together in terms
mhm,
of what it is, it's actually really good.
mhm.
I mean, like it feels legitimate, and you know what I'm
And
saying?
like I say, without no home court advantage, this really proves how much of a skill, how much this is based on your coaching, your skill, your talent. You got no arena. You're not used to the courts. This is not your home court. None of that. This is you in a tournament with us who we've been in basketball tournaments, who've been in that where we have no, it's just us, playing against our friends and all that. This is, but at a higher talent level. So to
Mhm.
say this is like, this is really your true skill. This is your
Mhm.
true skill. But I do wish to see if that would have happened. If that game would have happened at the Staples Arena, I would have been surprised if they had a bum rush on the floor like a college game, like a college game. Like that would have been a bum rush on the floor get type atmosphere after that. That was crazy. So I had to
Yeah.
give it to AD all of that. That was a great game, and
True.
this is going to be a great series. I don't think I'm not ready to close this out as a sweep because I don't. I think Denver's going to be really heated, really heated for the rest of these playoffs.
They'll be all right.
All right,
That's going. It's a wrap.
all
I
right.
just feel it.
All right, so everybody, we're gonna close the podcast out. So I want everybody to follow us on our social medias at Great Parachute, which is M's, at Diamonds LLC on IG, and Diamonds at D as you see on the handle on Twitter. So follow us. Thank you for all the listens. Thank you for all the respect everybody gave us for the next 2 weeks, for last week and this week. I hope y'all enjoy. And everybody have a great, great, great week, and see y'all next week.
Take
All
care,
right.
everybody.